Okay.
I love the email.
I do want to watch this video. Oh.
Say this. When I
Okay, are you guys ready to watch this video about anime ruined me? I'm actually so curious about this. It's the same girl that we watched before when it comes to like, do we need, why won't we be able to actually, bleh, I can't even say it. Like, it's the same girl who actually talk about, can't we just have attractive characters? Sure, okay,
I did not set out to cry over anime
let's
sword
watch.
wielding teenagers, but it did happen. One minute I'm collecting Pokemon plushies, the next I'm wearing a brown military jacket and feeling extremely patriotic for a country that doesn't exist. But before I tell you how I got
Mm-hmm.
there, let me just say this. When I first discovered anime, it hit me in a way that nothing really else had. It was the first time I'd watched a show that not only didn't kind of skip past some of these heavier emotions, it also didn't even deliver them in the typical way that I had been used to.
My first anime, when it comes to like, my first anime to watch whenever I actually explored this whole entire thing was literally Nisekoi and my love story. And the reason why I actually watched this is because my love story in in my high school year was actually just depressing. So instead of like really, trying to find love in my teenage years, I just watched other people have a better life than me. So yeah, I got into Nisekoi and also my love story, and it made my life so much better. The golden hours, um, what was it? Fruit Basket? I'd never watched that actually. I never watched that. My first anime was Himoto Umaru-chan. Himoto, Himoto Umaru-chan. Ah, yeah. Mine was Pokemon. Yeah, that was very old. Oh, actually, my first anime was actually One Piece. But that was like when I was like very very young. I didn't know what the hell this anime was. So I watched One Piece a couple episodes, but I never actually really continue it. One Piece, Bleach, Naruto, Hagimaru. Hagimaru was like one of the few things that I kind of enjoy in terms of like the anime. It's just kind of more enjoyable than I thought, but it was just so dumb for me to just keep continue watching. There was another one that there was another 2 and 3, the one with the family of with the ninjas. There was also one with the the shit, what is his name? Doraemon. Doraemon is one of those one of those animes, but I never actually thought about them as anime, so I never really actually enjoyed them. And they're just the times where like you really just enjoy them as a kid show, right? But if you're talking about full fledged on anime, like the anime that really defies and you know that is an anime, it's without no doubt Nisekoi and also My Love Story. Well, I really do like them, and the only reason why is because I just don't have a good school life. But I yeah, well I think let's just move on.
It really sat in them, soaked in them uncomfortably
I really been wanting to actually watch Anohana,
at times, and
and I
it
heard people
draws
would
some
actually
diseases there.
really
The characters weren't
sad
just
about this
cool or
show.
funny or
Pokemon 2, but I couldn't
exaggerated, they were
understand.
emotional disasters
Neither do I. I just like Pikachu being cute.
in the very best way. Screaming,
Oh, is that
breaking down,
Clannad?
trying to hold
Parasite?
everything together. Loud, messy, sometimes even ridiculous, but it never felt fake. All their pain, their joy, their hope, it all felt extremely real. It wasn't
Indeed, it is. Because like the thing is that like we always look at animes as a cartoon, like it's like as like a cartoon, but when they give us the emotions, we kind of like feel like we kind of under like we shouldn't never act like when they give us the emotions, the little bits of emotions, the mindset of you going into watching a cartoon kind of shifted a little bit more onto like a emotional driven area. Do you guys like Vampire Night? Never watch it. But I honestly thinking anime is like one of those things where like people have been debating to this very day the fact that are they cartoon or not. In my opinion, anime is like cartoon but more adult version. It's more adult version. It can be for adults but also for teenagers. But some of them are just not really supposed to be for kids to watch at all. But most of them are very very unique. I would have to say.
wasn't just entertaining, it was very true. Sometimes
I agree.
brutal, sometimes beautiful, sometimes both in the same 5 seconds. I'm talking extremely complicated trauma and high stakes drama. And the
Don't even get me started to like if we're talking about complicated trauma, Berserk is like the way to go into having seeing what a man with PTSD can actually live and do to live on. Berserk was actually one of those mangas. I would also recommend reading a manga called Invincible. Not Invincible, sorry. Was it Invincible? Shit, I already forgot. Vagabond, sorry. Vagabond. Vinland Saga anime was really good as well. Like we have really good anime lineups nowadays. Even My Hero Academia, even though I don't like the fandom, but it's a really good emotional anime to actually get into. My Hero Academia was actually unique. I just drop it because I just don't have the time to watch the anime. I just read the manga instead.
monologues that would just want to make you hit pause and sit there just to catch your breath. And the animation,
Yeah,
whether beautiful, grotesque, or dreamlike, it carried all of it. It made all of the feelings land, and it's some of the most beautiful art that I've ever seen. And with
I
all of
agree.
this, anime completely changed how I think about storytelling, about
I can agree on that.
characters, about performances, about what draws you in and what keeps you there. I didn't
You know what? What anime does actually draw people in because of the uniqueness of the story? I think almost all of the mainstream animes are actually really good in stories. So like stories like Berserk in we're going to say not the 2016 one. That one has a really bad animation. The story of Vinland Saga, of course. What else can we actually include it here? I guess One Punch Man, One Punch Man has more personality than Solo Leveling. I would have to say. I really do enjoy Saitama's story as a character, for being one of the most overpowered character. But it's the fact that he is the fact that he gets more power, but you notice the fact that he's losing his own emotions, which is very unique and very distinctly different from any other overpowered anime. I like it. It's funny some of the things that he got involved with, but at the same time, it kind of makes you think like Saitama is actually a real person. It's a real character. The writing, some of the animes are just really detailed and weird, but at the same time, it's just satisfying. Mushoku Tensei is one of those animes that I truly appreciate, even though the fact that the story of the main character can be a little bit off-putting. It's a very off-putting topic and controversial. Immersive is definitely a good answer there.
didn't even realize how much of it had shaped what I
But I'm
loved,
just gonna move on.
especially in games, until way, way later. And I didn't know
Mhm.
it at the time, but that was when I started falling in love with a different kind of storytelling. The kind
Mhm.
that remains with you and then shows up days later when
Ghibli
you're
is one of
refreshing your
those
feed,
movies.
like,
Yeah.
wait, why am I still thinking about that scene? And eventually, that love bled into the games I played too. Don't get me wrong,
Mhm.
I need great mechanics and gameplay, but I started paying more attention to all of the gut punches in the more narrative games. The way that a scene is paced, the way a line is delivered,
Mhm.
how sometimes silence can even hit harder than dialogue. Anime helped me realize that storytelling is not just about plot, it's about feeling. And once I noticed that, I could not unsee it. It's a huge part of why I care so much about the stories and characters I engage with now. So, yes, this is my anime origin story. Because anime didn't just
Okay.
introduce me to cool characters and wild drama, even though
I still have not watched any of the Ghibli movies, and I am totally ashamed of that. To this very day, I've been wanting to actually watch Ghibli movies so badly. I just don't have the time for it. I would have to say Silent Voice. The moment I, the moment I watch Silent Voice, it makes me appreciate the fact that I should really watch more of anime movies. I never actually thought that I should get into anime movies. I never actually really thought about that. I like anime as a series, not as a movie. But Silent Voice changed my mind, and I am looking forward to actually watch a Ghibli movie.
it yes, it absolutely did. But it showed me what I've always really loved emotional, impactful storytelling. Let's
And
begin.
beautiful.
Like many 90s kids, I was deep in the Pokemon trenches. Cards, VHS tapes, plushies,
Sorry.
full Pikachu lifestyle. And then when it came to what was allowed and
Mm-hmm.
what was not allowed, Dragon Ball Z was totally fine. Somehow watching a
I don't really watch Dragon Ball, to be honest with you. I kind of got tired of like seeing the character just screaming. I kind of prefer One Piece more because the One Piece has more goofiness in it. But seeing Dragon Ball is just not my thing. But at the same time, not growing up, I kind of want to actually get into Dragon Ball now. Drifting Home is good, guys. Never watched that as well.
guy scream in a crater for
Excuse
10
me.
minutes was considered acceptable viewing, but Sailor Moon, that was a no go. My mom said that the villains were too scary. Well,
What?
Mom, I'm so sorry if this is how you're finding out, but I still watched it. I didn't even know that it was anime at the time. I just knew that it had cute outfits, big feelings, talking cats with
I
beautiful
never watched
girls,
Sailor
and
Moon.
romance. It was magical and theatrical and completely unlike anything else on TV at the time. Flash
I never watch it. I never watched Sailor Moon. Is Sailor Moon good, guys, or not?
forward to college. Yes, I know, that is quite the time jump. I had kind of forgotten about Pokemon and Sailor Moon, and life was
Mm-hmm.
totally normal. I was totally normal until
Mhm.
one day my boyfriend at the time, who's now my husband, said, I know you don't really watch anime.
Wait,
so
what?
one day my boyfriend at the time, who's
Congratulations!
now my
Oh,
husband,
that's
said,
so
I know
good.
you don't really watch anime, but we should totally watch this show called Attack on Titan. And to say I
Oh my god, that's such a good way to actually open to you to actually get into anime. Oh my god, out of all animes, Attack on Titan it is the most horrifying, gut wrenching anime that you can actually watch to this very day. Even after like the years and years of season 1 was released, it's still the talk of the show. Literally to this very day. Even the ending of the fucking show is very, very controversial or like heavy topic to actually brought up with. People were actually scarred from this show at at a very huge cost. The show was so good, and I love it. I would have to say I actually really do like Attack on Titan as well, but the only problem is that like the ending broke my heart. It's not bad. It's just breaking. It breaks my heart, and I feel sad for most of the time, and to the point that like you don't even want to go into this anymore. And every character are very distinctly different one after another. I really do enjoy this, actually. More than I thought.
I just watched it is a complete understatement. I suddenly went from having zero thoughts about anime ever to spiraling into emotional chaos. Within 4 episodes, I was pacing around my room, pausing, rewinding, attempting to memorize every ad break lore dump. It was just over for me at that point, just like that. Up until this point, I truly had never experienced storytelling delivered in this kind of way. It was extremely visceral, heavy, and it wasn't just dramatic, it felt very urgent, and I was instantly obsessed. At this point in time, I hadn't even noticed that anime wasn't quite cool yet. I didn't care.
It was never cool to begin with in the Western media to begin with, because this whole entire anime is not really supposed for the Western media. It's for the Japanese, but but the fact that some Western people actually really appreciate this, I want to say, Attack on Titan did a very good job of like doing a very good storytelling. Did most of all of the shows that we saw in the Western media. Heck, some of them are much more better than Breaking Bad, and I will dare and say that literally. I would have to say that. And Attack on Titan possibly is one of those shows. The season 1 will always be one of my favorite, but season 4 and part like I don't even know how many parts of season 4 do we have now. Even though it was animated by a different studio, it is still very very good. It's still very nice to actually watch into this, and the story is just literally stabbing you.
I was too busy spiraling. Shortly after discovering what anime was, I discovered what manga was. And the next thing I know, there I was reading manga in the Barnes & Noble aisle like I was studying some kind of forbidden lore. I had no table, no chair. It was just me crouched in the graphic novel section like I was decoding prophecy. It had truly felt like
I really because of mangas, and I'm not an artist by the way, guys. I'm not an artist, but because of the mangas and the more I read the mangas, I become more aware of how good and how unappreciated the art is to this very day. Is the volume max volume? No. I apologize.
Like I had discovered some
How
kind of
about now?
secret society. I started watching AMVs and binging lore deep dives on YouTube like they were documentaries. At some
God,
point, I even
AMV, I have
walked
not
into
heard that
Hot
word for a long
Topic with my
time though.
part-time job
It's
money and
okay.
walked out with the jacket. You know the one, the brown,
The wrong one,
glorious,
yeah.
cursed Attack on Titan
Because it
jacket.
kept
And
peeking whenever you
I
shout.
wore it
I'm
like it
sorry.
was high fashion. Like I had some kind of personal invite from Levi himself. At this point, I've been
Of course it's Levi. Of course we're gonna talk about Levi. For God's sake. It's Levi of all the characters that you're gonna mention. It's Levi. Do you know? I remember those times where Attack on Titan was out, and when the show off Levi, Levi was the hot topic for the woman. Literally back then, literally the tired eye, long hair, like a not Bob Ross, like a bowl cut, but much more cooler bowl cut hairstyle, and very rude manner is the time where like I noticed the fact that man, women really do like rude men. Actually, they like it. Husband Levi, he is very cool. He's so fucking cool.
through all of our photos like 10 times trying to find a single one of me wearing this jacket and I can't freaking find it. So you're just gonna have to take my word for it, please. But it was my go-to, I promise. Until one day I was at a coffee shop ordering a drink and the barista in front of a full line of people just
Yeah.
points at my jacket and goes, "Oh hey, isn't that from an anime?" And I just kind of froze because this was the first time I'd ever had to say it out loud to a stranger in public.
Yeah.
People listening all around me. And
Yeah.
it totally caught me off guard. I said, "Yeah, it's from Attack on Titan."
Bro, you notice it's kind of embarrassing, but then when people actually show off their interest when it comes to the show, and whenever it's Attack on Titan, some people actually will talk about it. Some people who don't even watch anime actually appreciate it.
And immediately I felt the ice. The guy behind me, the girl near the pastry case, all silent, confused, judging. I'd honestly felt like I just confessed to being in a cult, but like a very enthusiastic one with playlists and fan art. And that was my
Uh-huh.
first real indicator that anime was still very much a niche thing in public. The jacket? Yeah, it quietly got reassigned to around my house only. But
That's a bit unfortunate because like I really do not care sometimes about how other people talk about it. I never actually managed to bought any merch when it comes to like anime because like I don't think I have the money back then.
despite the jacket
But
incident,
I
I
would love to have
continued
one.
to dive deeper and deeper. Pulling up
Mhm.
Crunchyroll, I was adding every big title I'd ever heard
Is that where ends her? Oh my god, dude! Oh my god! Oh god! Wow, that actually brings back a lot of memories. War Ants Harem. What a very shitty but also a very easy way to get a fan base to into your manga, dude. Bro, I fucking that's so many memory lanes that I don't want to go into. Holy shit.
mentioned to my watch list. Tokyo Ghoul.
Tokyo Ghoul. Such a good show, but like, at the same time, I heard the manga was actually different and people were not very happy with it.
Stay Night, Maid Sama, Cowboy Bebop, Sword Art Online. But every show hit totally different, and my lineup was questionable.
W
To
Tokyo
say the
Ghoul,
least.
yeah.
I'd go from watching people get decapitated in Akamega Kill to crying over piano scenes in Your Lie in April to quietly sobbing through a silent voice. The emotion
Silent Voice was really good. There's so many shows I have not yet watched, but I have actually have them in my watch list. Sword Art, season 1 and 2 were peak, but season 3 was just very mediocre, and I kind of got tired of it. Season 1 was the absolute pinnacle of Sword Art Online, and I love season 1. So season 2 was okay, but it's still good. But I think season 3 was the where like the moment I kind of got tired of it.
tone shifts were at times very wild, but somehow it all worked together very weirdly well. But really, I should have known that I was primed for this because before anime ever got to me, I had no idea that Kingdom Hearts had already paved the way. Going back to my childhood for a quick flashback. In 2005,
Oh yeah,
my parents got me a PS2 Slim for my birthday. And
Bro.
with it, none other than Kingdom Hearts. From the
Bro.
gorgeous title screen music to blasting simple and clean in the first cutscene, I was just sitting sitting on the floor, controller in hand, completely captivated by what I was seeing. The animation, the dreamlike tone, at that
I
point in
never
time,
played
I
any
had not
Kingdom Hearts
experienced
games.
anything like it, and I just kept replaying it. I would restart the game over and over again just to watch the intro, and whenever friends would come over to play, I'd be like, well, hold on, wait, let me just show you this really cool thing real fast, and I would boot up.
Bro, that was such a good childhood. Guys, do you guys think that should I try? Should I try out Kingdom Hearts by any chance, or should I go into the lore of Kingdom Hearts? I'm very curious
A
about
whole
it.
new save file. They didn't always appreciate it, shall I say.
Maybe I'll ask Misa about it because she's actually a geek for Kingdom Hearts, and I'm saying geek as a compliment. Literally, that's a simple way for me to say it. It's a compliment.
But I was totally hooked, and that was probably my first real taste of emotional storytelling in games. But getting back on track, let's talk about some of the first characters I really fell in love with. The ones who
Kingdom Hearts is a
maybe
long
hit
game.
me at the worst
What
possible
do you mean
time
by that?
in the
Like,
best
as in
possible
storyline
way,
or
and
like
the
the game
ones I still
mechanic?
think about more often than I probably should. The characters that truly unlocked my love for anime and impactful, heart-shaping storytelling. And along the way, I'll just be throwing out some game references that match the vibes, just in case. Now,
Sure.
one thing about me, I love a good archetype. The soft healer, the angry
No, he's bullying? What do you mean he's bullying?
prodigy, the stoic weapon who absolutely feels too much but pretends otherwise. And the best part, these aren't just anime things. They show up in games all the time too. It's like emotional damage has its own genre, and I must really love it. Otherwise, you think that I would have learned my lesson by now. So up first, we're gonna kick off our list with a bit of a gimme. Eren Yeager, the one who really started it all for me. He's angry, impulsive, and reckless, but kind of with just enough righteous fire that you root for him anyway. Watching Eren start to crack under the weight of everything, questioning his purpose, doubting himself,
joke?
and then doubling
I don't
down
know.
even harder. It felt
I don't know who
very
you're talking
raw
about.
in a way that I hadn't seen before. And say what you want, but I am an Eren defender till the end. And honestly, once you've defended Eren Yeager, defending Joel from The Last of Us kind of feels like child's play. Edward
Eh.
from Full Metal Alchemist
I gotta go back into this. Fuck. I stopped at episode 2 of Brotherhood Full Alchemist. Wait, Full Alchemist Brotherhood. Fuck.
Brotherhood. My favorite short
Sorry, Full Metal Alchemist. Sorry.
king. He's cocky, brilliant, and carrying so much guilt for a child. He's also very fiercely protective. His entire drive, the constant fixing, sacrificing, it always comes back to Al. That sibling bond is really the emotional engine for the entire show. And Edward will hit you right in the feelings, especially if you love characters like Prompto from Final Fantasy 15, the ones who kind of joke their way through pain, but would throw themselves in front of danger without any hesitation. Akame from Akamega Kill. She's
Bro! I can't watch this anime. I am actually in episode 8 of this show, and I just say, you know what? Fuck this. I'm just gonna drop it. Bro, I'm not gonna say. I'm not gonna just stand here and pretend. Apparently, Akamegi got killed is different from the manga, and that kind of throws me off quite a huge. Because like, why did it make so different from the manga? This show was starting off good. It was very good, gut wrenching. But then, like, as it got going, why bother watching it? Because the same, the characters that you care for, in the end of the day, have the same fate of every character. Like the character on this show, in the universe, there's no personality. It's psychopathic, in my opinion. It's just okay, but like I don't know. It's just couldn't watch the show. I couldn't continue watching the show at all, bro.
She's very efficient, quiet, and emotional in all the ways that sneak up on you. She doesn't
Oh yeah, she's talking about the character. I don't know why I actually went into the anime.
talk that much, but when she does, it hits you very hard. In her final fight with Esdeath, I don't think I'd ever seen a female character quite like her. She was so beautifully lethal and emotionally unreadable. I've yet to play near myself yet. I'm so sorry, but
Me neither.
From what I do know, she reminds me a lot of 2B. Calm, focused, repressed, but somehow still very emotionally devastating. Kaori from Your Lie in April. She's
Another anime that I was planning to actually watch, but I never got a chance to get into. I'm so ashamed after watching this whole entire after watching 9 minutes of 40 seconds of this video. I am so sad the fact that like I just got nothing to actually talk about except just watching from the memes. Some of the animes I've been wanting to watch, but I just never get into it.
so bright, beautiful, and tragic, and is just one of those characters that very gently destroys you. And she wasn't just some manic pixie dream girl, she was hurting and then still trying to bring light to everybody else around her. Gave very much Aerith, very much you'll cry, rewatch, and question your mental stability. Terror and Resonance, whole cast. This show caught me so off guard.
This is
I
my
thought
first
I
time
was
watching.
just gonna
This is
get
my
like a
this is my first
cool,
time hearing
moody
it.
thriller, and suddenly I was totally devastated. It's very quiet and beautiful and so heavy in a way that just kind of sneaks up on you. Kind of like if Inside or Journey had more dialogue and trauma. Asuna from Sword Art Online, one of my first real favorites. She could have been just the love interest, but she's so much more. Strong-willed, smart, emotionally aware, and very quietly fierce. I loved how she could be terrifying with the sword and then turn around and offer someone gentle encouragement. She kind of reminds me of Sherry from Resident Evil 6. Yes, I know, very different tones, but stay with me. Both very composed, sharp, and kind of even keel under pressure. And she's really been through it, but she doesn't make a huge deal about it. There's such a quiet strength to her that is so steady and likable. By this point, I had realized anime wasn't just good, it was crafted. And I think that's part of what made me fall in love with it all. Anime made space for emotional storytelling in a way that just felt very true and lifelike. It wasn't afraid to sit with very messy, intense stuff. Grief, longing, rage, hope, and
Is that cloud just moving
really just
around? That cloud just
give
moved.
it
That's a PNG just moving around slowly. Excuse me.
room to breathe. The pacing, the pauses, the way a scene can flip from goofy to gut-wrenching in seconds and still feel totally earned. What really got me, especially kind of earlier on, was the very vast emotional range. The screaming, the crying, the sheer intensity. It was all so exaggerated, but very intentional and authentic. I
For me, it was the goofiness and the silliness of how stupid it is, but at the same time, it's the cartoonish looking that is just completely different than the cartoon that we saw from the Western media.
would go watch Western animation, and then anime would just feel so much more mature almost. Like, I don't know, like it was some kind of higher level. Kind of like going from normal cable TV to
Now Luffy looks more of an adult character than some of the characters you see of nowadays.
HBO, at least in years past. They've had some struggles recently. In fact, anime was one of the very first things that got me interested in voice acting. The delivery, the breath work, the emotional cadence of a single line, it all very much blew my mind, and it kind of planted the seed for something that I did not know that I'd end up pursuing later. And yes, I have seen so many sweet comments about my voice, and it really means more than you guys could ever know. I have been voice acting as a hobby for the past 4 years, and
Oh, shit!
no, you haven't really heard me in anything that you would know yet, but hopefully soon. So thank you so much for all of your
Oh!
Also, a bit of a confession. I was totally a sub-only purist when I started out. The raw emotional delivery in
What is sub?
Japanese just hit different. But
Oh yeah, yeah. All the time. I will go for sub over dub. No debate. Sub over dub. Anytime, any week.
recently, I have found myself loving the dubs. 100 Girlfriends, Solo Leveling, the performances
What the fuck? The 100 girlfriend is also stupid as well, but people love it.
have just been so good, and I
Okay, not solo loving. Why would you put solo loving here?
have a whole new appreciation now.
Like. Solo level was good as a our farming anime, but as a anime as a whole with the manhwa. It's so bad. It's not bad. It's mediocre as hell. Want a girlfriend, bro? Some people can't even get one.
that I've actually met people in the industry. Matching the timing, the intensity, and still making lines feel very emotionally grounded
That's what I
is
said.
definitely not easy. And English voice actors have
Yeah.
to honor the tone and the rhythm of the original while still making it seem completely authentic in a totally different language. They've come a long way, and it's only been getting better and better.
Without no doubt, it's getting better and better, but still very off-putting for me. So to this very day, I will still keep going for the sub. But it is also something for me as well because I would think it would be best for me to actually learn Japanese as well. Because like if I learn Japanese, I think it would be easier for me to learn the
Yeah,
Japanese.
I did not
It
grow
would be easier for me to not actually look into sub.
up watching anime, and at some point I kind of fell off again. And it's not because I stopped liking it, but because
Hmm.
life had just gotten in the
Yeah,
way. These days, I keep up
me
with the
too.
bigger ones: Demon Slayer, Jujutsu Kaisen, Mashal, you know. But
I kind of just didn't even watch Jujutsu Kaisen anime at all. I kind of go more into mangas instead of animes nowadays.
I haven't really fallen into something in a long time. Lately, though, I've been wanting to change that. Not just watching like a filthy casual, but
Mm-hmm.
actually getting really back into it. I miss caring way too much about fictional people in a fun way because anime didn't just kick off a phase, it made me realize the kinds of stories I'm always going to be drawn to. The ones that
Yeah.
are soft and heavy at the same time, the beautifully flawed characters, the emotional gut punches, the quiet moments that hit louder than the hard ones. It's the same feeling that I get from games like Red Dead Redemption 2, Final Fantasy, To the Moon, Celeste, or A Plague Tale, where you're playing along and suddenly a line or a very intricate detail or moment just kind of hits you and you're like, oh, okay, that's probably gonna live in my head forever. But
She
whether it came from a
she kept showing off that anime train. It's so subtle and fucking chill, man. I like that.
cutscene, a betrayal, a soundtrack, or an episode that you stayed up way too late to watch, please tell me your spiral story. Or, I don't know, if there's a show that hits you a little harder than you expected, drop it in the comments because I need to hear your recommendations. What should I start off this next arc watching? I'm very open to spiraling again, so let's build a watch list.
All right, awesome. This video is more personal for her, but she also talking about how anime is just it's just awesome nowadays. I agree here with most of it actually. I think the reason why I can't say not all of it is because I just didn't watch any of the animes. After watching that video, man, after watching that video, it makes me want to go back to anime again. Like I want to go back to anime and actually like explore my old wish list, watch list, like Your Lie in April, Anohana, Clannad. Oh my god, the High School DxD even. Come on. I gotta go into that again, bro. And going back into it would be a good opportunity for me to get into Ghibli movies as well. Ghibli movies is something that I think people will actually. I want to actually show more appreciation on Ghibli if I can. I would still love to watch it. It's just that like I just don't have the time, dude. Even nowadays, I'm trying to finish out Star Wars Endor. I just don't have the time, dude. Fuck.